Hello there, this is Daniele from Toolchefs, and in this video we're going to have a look at the Houdini layout tool improvements. In Atoms 3.2 we upgraded the layout tool in Houdini so that is up to speed with Maya 1. In Houdini you can both use the widget that we have in Maya, or you can also activate one of the agent group node and press P, and this dialog will pop up. This was actually available also in the previous versions of Atoms, although in this version we actually added some more options, and so basically you can now select like you could do before and move, but you have a different space modes. You can also rotate in global or local, so for instance global like that. You can use a fall off, so for instance if I want to scale with a fall off you can do that. You can scale both with global or local, and you can use both a position plus agent and position when you're in global mode. There are also a few differences between this dialog and the layout tool widget that I'm going to show you in a second. Depending on the agent group that you have activated with this dialog, you'll see different options, mainly because for instance you cannot add agents for an agent group that has a grid layout. You can do that just if you have a points layout. You cannot time offset agents if you don't have a cache reader, like in this case I have a grid layout. So for these things, like you'll see these buttons basically disappearing or appearing depending on whatever agent group you have activated here. But other than that, you can of course clear selection, delete agents, so on, rotate, scale, change the variation. Also another difference between this dialog and the widget is that you cannot edit the variation in real time here, while you can do that in the widget. Also another difference is that we have from Houdini and Maya is that for instance for the social layouting mode in Maya we have a slider, but in here in Houdini you have actually to click inside the viewport and then drag. So for the orientation it's not going to do anything because they're oriented in the same way, but you can use the average position, look to center, and then average orientation, and so on. And of course then if you can press play and see your new simulation with the basically the offset that you have just applied. Just gonna remove the offset for the direction, the direction offsets. And now I'm gonna open also the I'm gonna go under Atoms, and then if you press this button, the layout tool, the widget will appear. So if you want the parameter dialog that I showed you just now, you have actually to activate the node and then press P, and that's the only way that is available for actually showing up this dialog. From here you can actually do the same things that you could do with the with the parameter dialog. But also, for instance, as I said, there are a few changes. Like for instance, here in the selection mode, there are these override attribute section that will actually let you change the overrideable attributes of your agent groups. So for instance, here I have a state machine, and this is an overrideable attribute. If basically I can change it from here, so I could put them to idle or to the run state. And you have to press enter to actually propagate the change. You can change the offset from here, and also the values that you see here are actually the values for the first selected agent. Okay, now we can go back and see other modes, like for instance the move, but this is basically what I just showed in the parameter dialog, so rotate, scale, and so on. Time offset is disabled because again this is not a cache reader. Same thing for the add mode. Variations, you can change the variations here, and this is the social layouting section that I showed you just in a second ago with the parameter dialog. So now I'm gonna save this scene. And let's create an agent group. Go to the object level, and then let's move it. Actually, let's leave it there, I'm just gonna double click that one, go in here, I'm gonna add a points layout, and then a state machine. And then for the state machine, I'm gonna set the high to HF, which is the high that I created previously in this scene. I'm gonna set the skin mode. And now I'm gonna click on this button, which actually activates the widget. And I can start placing agents. So for instance, I can select boy, girl, man and woman. I can click random and I can start placing agents. Of course, you can also use the grid distribution. Or a Poisson, depends on you. You can select agents, move them, and so on. Another cool thing that we just added in Atoms 3.2 is that you can select agents from different groups, like you can do here, and move them at the same time or rotate them. So now basically I'm gonna create also another agent group with a cache reader. So agent group, back here, cache reader. And I'm gonna activate once again the layout tool. So basically now I can select some agents, activate time offset, and as you can see here, the time offset basically like in Maya, we have this little circle showing you the time offset for each agent, and these are all red just because basically the cache adjusts 120 frames, but the timeline here is much longer. So for instance, if I would just set 100 and 100, now as you can see they turn green because basically this means that even if we reach the end of the frame range, the cache will still play and the agents will not actually reach the end of the cache. When it's blue, it means that the agent has a time offset, but once again it won't actually reach the end of the cache before reaching the end of the frame range. So, but if I go basically in the red area of the slider, this means actually that the agent will actually reach the end of the cache before it actually can reach the end of the frame range. This is just a warning for you so that you're aware of what's going on. Like in Maya, you can basically when two circles are overlapping, they get merged into groups. So you can actually drag at the same time agents, one or like two or more agents. Like we can do these two as well, and so on. I would recommend having a look at the latest video of the layout tool for Maya so that you can see all the features that you can use in Houdini as well. I'm gonna leave a link in the description so it's gonna be easier for you to find. And this is all for this video. Thanks for watching.